Hello and welcome to AirgunWeb.com, your home for honest, real-world airgun reviews and information where we bring you the facts, not fluff. One of the questions I get most often is, what is the best air rifle for under $200? Well, this is my new project. I want to find the most accurate, hardest hitting, and consistent airgun for under 200 bucks. The Contenders can come scoped or not scoped, but they need to be spring or gas ram driven. And speaking of Contenders, first up to the plate is the Tech Force 87 Contender in .22 caliber. This is a hybrid of the Tech Force 99 Premier and the Tech Force 89 Contender. It's an underlever spring gun like the 99, but has a much better trigger like the 89. The Tech Force 87 without a scope comes in right under our $200 limit at 190 bucks. Now, we've added the Leaper's 4-32 AO scope and the Leaper's 11mm to Weaver adapter to round out our combo. The total for this package is about $240. As always, I'd like to take a moment to thank Pyramid Air and also Leapers for providing the products for this review and for their continued support of our channel. Now let's take a good close-up look at the Tech Force 87 Contender. The Tech Force 87 is a formidable weapon. It's a fixed barrel design that uses an underlever cocking mechanism to set the spring. It has a beautiful stock that is set up for right-handed shooters, as it has a raised cheek piece on the left side of the stock. I'm sure you lefties out there could manage, however. The rifle ships with front and rear fiber optic sights, with the rear sight being fully adjustable for windage and elevation. To get the most out of this gun, you should really scope it. I tried something new with our 87 Contender. Rather than mount a big scope, I went with a more hunting-friendly, fixed-focus 4x32 AO scope from Leapers. It comes with Weaver-style mounts, so rather than replace them, I chose to use the 11mm to Weaver adapter from UTG. It did a great job of blending into the rifle's receiver and even covered the scope stop with the offset part of the rail. I think it looks pretty nice. With the rifle fully cocked, you can see the breech of the gun. This is where you load the pellet. Once loaded, you reset the cocking arm and you're ready to go. The 87 uses the same type of design as the Tech Force 99 and 97. The first blade in the trigger guard is the cocking arm release. The second blade is the safety, and the last blade is of course the trigger. And speaking of the trigger, the Tech Force 87 has a pretty good one. It is adjustable if you know what you're doing, but it's also easy to over-adjust and cause yourself some problems. Better to stick with the factory settings just to be safe. Our trigger averaged a pull weight of only 4 pounds 6 ounces. The Tech Force 87 Contender is pretty accurate once I found the right hold and pellet, generating an average of over 20 foot-pounds with our best pellet. It is a great air gun for hunting small game. Some of you may remember our video of the Tech Force 97. Well, the Tech Force 87 works exactly the same way. The trigger parts may look different, but the function's identical. Now, here's how you operate the Tech Force 87. The first thing you're going to do is pull down on this cocking arm. Make sure you lock it into place all the way. The next thing you're going to do is load the pellet. Now, to do this, I'm going to continue holding onto this cocking arm. Even though this rifle has an anti-bear trap mechanism, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Now we've gone ahead and loaded our pellet. Now we need to return this arm, and you're going to see 3 little triggers or levers inside the trigger guard. This first one, when you pull it, allows you to return the cocking arm back to the closed position. Now the 87 has an automatic safety, so now that we've cocked the gun, the safety is already engaged. To shoot the gun, we're going to point it in a safe direction, release the safety, and fire the gun. Now, even though the 87 is a big, heavy gun, it still requires proper technique, so make sure that you really know the artillery hold, because that's going to be important to get the best accuracy. And that's how you do it. Let's do it one more time. And that's all there is to it. Now, this last point's very important. Again, like I said, even though the 87 is a very heavy gun and does better than other Magnum Springers, it still holds sensitive. So you're going to need to practice and practice often to get the most out of your 87. Now let's talk about performance. The Tech Force 87 is right at the beginning of the Magnum Springer category, in my opinion. When you start pushing lead pellets at 800 feet per second, especially in a 22 caliber, you're really moving. The average 22 caliber based on a 1,000 foot per second 177 power plant generates about 650 to 700 feet per second at best. So when you see those numbers over 800, you're really getting to that entry-level PCP power range. Here are our results. Now we're starting with the RWS Hobby pellets, which are 11.9 grains. We had a high of 832, a low of 816, an average of 824, an extreme spread of 16 feet per second, standard deviation of 5, and an average energy of 17.96 foot-pounds. Now our test rifle shot a lot of pellets pretty well, including the Predator Polymags, which is really good news for you hunters out there. But our best pellet was again the H&N Field Target Trophy. It's a 14.66 grain pellet, and it gave us the following results. We had a high of 792, a low of 773, an average of 786, an extreme spread of 19 feet per second, and a standard deviation of only 5 feet per second. The average energy was 20.11 foot-pounds. That's a lot of energy out of a spring gun. So let's go ahead and move on now to accuracy. Initially, the Tech Force 87 proved a real challenge from the bench. One group would be really great and the next would be all over the place. I tried every trick in the book to get consistency out of our test rifle. Seasoning the barrel really helped, as the barrel was incredibly filthy, and finding the right hold was a very long process. Eventually, I found the right hold and the right pellet. I want to say this about the Tech Force 87. It's not a target rifle. It's not designed as a target rifle. It's designed to be a hunting air gun, and in that purpose, it's very well suited. If you consider that a kill zone on an average squirrel is about the size of a quarter, at just barely less than 1 inch, then as a hunting rifle, the Tech Force 87 is a very, very good option. At 10 yards, I was hoping for some better results. Our groups measured a .464 and a .413 inches center to center. I really want to see a better than a 1/4 inch center to center spread at 10 yards. Now, when it came to 20 yard groups, we had a little bit of a surprise. Our first group came in at .552 inches center to center, which is about right given the spread going from 10 to 20. But our second group gave us an amazing .275 center to center. This really shows that when you get everything just right, this rifle can truly perform. As we look at these groups, you're going to see one flyer on the last 20 yard group. I'm really not sure what happened. Maybe I pulled the shot, or probably more than likely I had a bad pellet. But it's not even close to where I was aiming, so I just disregarded that shot and continued with the rest of my 5-shot group. So you're going to see 6 shots in that last group. Just disregard the flyer and focus on the 5 good shots that hit their target. Here's some shot groups starting at 10 yards and then the 20 yard groups as well. here's my scorecard on the Tech Force 87 Contender in .22 caliber. Let's start with the cons. Tech Force 87 is quite heavy, and while that usually means a huge reduction in hold sensitivity, I still found the 87 to be somewhat hold sensitive. It's also kind of loud. It registered 105 dB in our indoor tests. That's really kind of getting up there. It took a very long time for the gun to settle down and become reasonably accurate. At $190, it's going to have some stiff competition with other guns that are possibly a little bit better equipped, and the Stoeger X20 really comes to mind. Now here are the pros for the Tech Force 87. It packs a big punch for a moderate price. To average over 800 feet per second with lead pellets is a real challenge for almost any spring gun. Most that can do it cost upwards of $400 and $500. Accuracy is very adequate for the hunting application it's designed for. And the average 20.11 foot-pounds to do the job on most small game with only one well-placed shot. So let's pull all this together with our final summary. The Tech Force 87 Contender, if you're looking for a hunting rifle, may be something that you want to look into. It's got the power and it won't break your wallet. But be ready to spend some time practicing at the range to really unlock its true potential. Also be prepared to shell out some extra cash if you want a scope and you don't want to just use the open sights. I'd like to take a moment and thank the folks at Leapers for providing the scope and mounts for this review. And of course, I'd like to thank Pyramid Air for supplying our review product and for their continued support of our channel. When you're looking for your next airgun or you're looking to fill your next airgun supply order, please visit www.pyramidair.com or give them a call at 888-262-4867. And please be sure to let them know that you heard about them here on Airgun Web. When you're looking for honest, real-world airgun reviews, think Airgun Web, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. I'm Rick Butzler with airgunweb.com. Thanks again for watching.